Well, would you look at that? It's Chapter 5 of my Fire Emblem 8 0% gross, low turn count playthrough. Chapter 5, if I'm being completely honest, is kind of a mundane chapter overall. After all, it is a defeat boss map, which, as you could probably guess, just means we're gonna take Seth and toss him to the boss so that he kills him instantly. And as cool as that is, we are pretty used to seeing Seth destroy bosses like this, so this overall isn't too exciting. However, what is more interesting is the fact that there are multiple side objectives in this map that we would like to complete, so we'll try to do them before the map ends. One of those side objectives is something that I've hammered often enough in this playthrough, the fact that Ross needs EXP. Ross needs to promote fairly soon, within a few chapters, and in order to promote, he needs to reach level 10. Right now, he enters this map at level 7, so he needs to get a few more levels in this map in order to reach level 10 in time when we need him to. He doesn't need to reach level 10 in this map, however, the closer to level 10 he is, the better. In fact, that's the purpose of most of our units to the left, not including Seth. They just need to chip down the enemies so that Ross can pick up the scraps, getting a ton of EXP in the process. It should also be known that we got a few new units in this chapter. I suppose that one of them is Loot, since we didn't visit her village last chapter. She joins in this chapter. It's her first playable chapter. We didn't actually deploy her because we've no need for mage combat in this map. However, there are a few chapters in which we do need mage combat, so we'll be seeing her a few times throughout this playthrough. We also got Natasha, the cleric that just recruited that enemy. She's our second staff user in the game, so she's pretty comparable to Moulder. However, she's actually inferior in every single relevant way to Moulder. I mean, she has worse stats, joins later, is at a lower level, and has lower staff rank, all of which makes her pretty worse than Moulder in almost every respect. However, we will still be seeing her a good amount, because we do need to train an additional staff user in addition to Moulder. Moulder simply isn't enough for late game, and we need another staff user to use some high-ranking staves. So we will be seeing and training Natasha a good amount so that she can use some late game staves. So that's all good and stuff. She also recruited an enemy Myrmidon whose name is Joshua, who's also pretty relevant in this playthrough. Joshua is a pretty great combat unit at this point in the game. He's quite fast at 14 speed. That's even faster than Seth, by the way. So he's basically gonna double all of these enemies for a very good amount of time throughout the game. He also is pretty strong, which means that he can do a good amount of damage with those hits. And he also comes with the Killing Edge, which increases his offense even further by giving him a good chance to just deal triple damage to enemies. So that's all really good. In general, even though he's infantry locked and he can't use 2 ranged weapons, his offense is just too good to pass up, so we'll be seeing him a good amount in this playthrough, to the point where even promoting him is a pretty good idea. Finally, the last side objective of this map are the various villages throughout the entire map. 2 of them contain stat boosters, which just increase stats. In this case, most of them, in fact, increase stats by 2. There's a secret book which increases skill by 2, and the Draco shield which increases defense by 2. Now, typically, there are some less useful stat boosters that can sell for a good amount of money. And, you know, in some games that's a pretty good idea since money is important. However, in this game, money isn't too scarce to the point where selling them is really worth it, so we just end up using most of them instead. There's also an Armor Slayer village, which would be effective for killing this boss. However, Seth just obliterates him with a Silver Lance. Finally, there's a village to the north which contains a torch. However, that's not too useful. By missing out on it, we do miss out on the Chapter 5 Guiding Ring. However, that's whatever, honestly. So that's Chapter 5 completed in 3 turns. I'll see you guys next time for Chapter 5X.